Well, very good evening, everyone. I'm just going to do a little speech. Now, you're probably expecting the usual speeches, but tonight we're going to do things a little differently. We're about to take you on a journey through how Stevie and Joe met, how perfect they are for each other, and all those sweet details, but with a little twist. And Joe's shaking his leg, he's a bit nervous. So, Stevie and Joe are the kind of couple who love spending time with their wonderful children, Nancy and Logan, often exploring different woods across the countryside. And if they're not enjoying cuddles with the kids, you'll probably find them with their cat, Kennedy, who was rescued all the way from Dubai. I know. In the process of trying to gather some interesting facts for you all, I learned a few things about Stevie and Joe. Stevie used to do Irish dancing, of which she made the news in the Dagenham Post. And she used to have a pet parrot called Travis. So, not Travis Scott, no. So that's Stevie, everyone. Now moving on to Joe. I tried to speak with Joe, but I ended up having to ask Stevie if I could speak with Joe, because Stevie's the only one who picks up the phone. And I said, tell me some interesting facts or stories. And she said, you can talk to him, but he's like an 80-year-old man who sits indoors all day with his feet up watching YouTube and stroking Kennedy the cat. However, when I spoke with Joe, it turns out he knew Stevie was pregnant both times before they officially found out, and he knew the genders of both of their children before they were born. So you could say that Joe's a little bit of a mind reader. How did Stevie and Joe meet? Well, let's just say they had to keep things under the radar for a little while. You see, they both worked for the ambulance service. Stevie was out on the road, while Joe was the mechanic keeping everything running smoothly. Over time, Joe really tightened the bolts on their relationship. Before long, they realised that what they had wasn't just a quick fix, it was the start of something that needed no repairs. When it came to getting engaged, what better way to measure Stevie's ring size in disguise than with a spanner? And I don't mean Joe, by the way. Now, let me tell you all about one of their adventures in Barcelona. They had no idea Stevie was pregnant at the time, but during their trip, they had quite the close call on an electric scooter, nearly colliding with the bus. And to top it all off, Joe even got into trouble with the Spanish police for riding on the pavement. Oh, and did I mention Joe's most recent project? He's built a camper van. So maybe their next adventure will be a little safer, or maybe not, I don't know. Are you ready for the real kicker, ladies and gents? Joe is actually a superhero. Or at least he thought he was, anyway. When Stevie went into labour, Joe transformed into the Flash. He sped past an ambulance with blue lights, rushed past nurses and doctors to get to the theatre, and actually beat Stevie into the labour ward. And then he fainted. Yes, folks, let's hear it for our newest superhero, Mr. Faint. And I quote, it says, "You didn't see that one coming, did you? Love you, Mrs. Church." Well, ladies and gents, I hope that made you chuckle. We're ready to continue celebrating now, so let's hear it one more time for Mr. and Mrs. Church. Wasn't that bad, was it? We've got a few... We're not finished yet. No, we've got a few thank yous to say. Stevie and Joe would like to say a huge thank you firstly to Tom and Claire for all of their help and support with the wedding. A big thank you also to Tony for everything you've done to help as well. Also, a thank you to Hannah the singer for her lovely voice, and an apology from me for listening to my voice all day. Oh, that was so cute. Thank you, mate. And a general thanks from Stevie and Joe to everyone for their support and love today. It really wouldn't be the same without all of you. So let's hear it for you guys as well and everyone else involved. And lastly, we do have a warning. It says, "Warning, warning, from Nanny Mal. She says if you get in her way, she will hit you with her walking stick." Well, ladies and gents, that comes to the end of our wedding breakfast together, celebrating Mr. and Mrs. Church. If I can kindly ask you now to make your way to the terrace area outside and the bar area, we're going to get this room turned around into the party room. And if I can remind you, take all your personal belongings with you because the tables are going to be moved out to the side and you don't want to lose your bags or phones or anything like that. And remember, there is now candy floss as well by the barbecue area. So if you had all your dinner and you ate all of it, Joe, you can go and have some candy floss, all right? And we'll be back here soon as well for cutting of the cake and the first dance, ladies and gents. So go get yourself a drink, get some candy floss, and let's get ready to party!